Let's just take a very deeper look now to see how the local market have been faring for the day. The local all share, in fact, bouncing back quite convincingly today. That's the equities after yesterday's shaky trade. More than 1,000 points higher for the all share. However, as we said, the rand remains heavily bruised on the back of that Russian arms saga with South Africa. Joseph Busha is from Busha Investments. He joins us now. Joseph, a lot to talk about, but let's start with the overall market at the moment. And we start with the rand. As expected, we didn't expect the rand to make an amazing recovery. These were really dampened sentiment, yesterday's news. 9:30 earlier in the day today, but I see at one point we were 1951, lowest recorded against the US dollar. I suppose it tells you how serious investors took this latest saga over Russia.
Certainly, I think people got nervous quite quickly, and the market certainly will be jittery. Remember, the US is quite a big voice in the G7 and in global trade. They would bring in their partners, which is the EU. So if you look in terms of UK, Netherlands, and Germany, they all contribute possibly in terms of South Africa trade surplus. You were talking about 2.7 billion from the US. You're looking about 8 billion just from two countries, UK and Netherlands. So certainly massive there. You don't want them to put us on the sanction list after we got grey listed just recently. So I think people were very nervous to say what would be the next move, and I think that's what the market and investors are looking at to say what are the next steps the US would take.
Look, it is interesting what happened on the local market in terms of the equities, all right, because South African stocks really staged a very good comeback today, and we know it was local stocks because the Naspers and Process, which are the heavyweights, they were the negative, yet the local all share was actually quite positive today. So good news, I suppose, for the South African stocks in terms of the comeback today.
Very nice recovery. I think you saw that obviously the response of the rand from 1951 against the dollar going back to about where it is now, 1936. We were down yesterday, so I think it is really just guys saying, well, listen, most of the things have been overdone and just doing bargain hunting. And hence you saw the market is strongly up, just recovering from all the losses of yesterday. So if you look in terms of SA, I think apart from the electricity and some of our issues, and also you had JP Morgan saying that we might actually have a worse than expected in terms of the GDP numbers from up 0.3 expectation focus to 0.2 down. So those things dampened the market yesterday, but I think people have got faith, and they sometimes brush aside the the negativity in terms of just the wild swings of the market and just had the recovery.
Yeah, one of those good shares performing today, and I suppose this had to do with the market update. MTN, that share up about 5% or thereabout in the green today. What did you make of it?
11% in terms of profit, revenue growing up about 15%. But I think one of the key issues they really talked about there is that they might exit three African countries or markets. That includes Liberia, Guinea-Bissau, and the Guineas, basically. So those countries are pretty much unstable. And if you look in terms of their overall subscriber base is sitting at about 291. That is also quite a massive number. So I think that is really just positive for the market, because you need to look in terms of the risk and reduce your exposure, and which is what MTN is doing, possibly trying to focus on SA and Nigeria, their biggest markets.
All right, I got a couple of seconds left. Just want to get your thoughts on this. AngloGold Ashanti officially changing its domicile from South Africa to the United States. The company says it has nothing to do with South Africa. But Joseph, the optics don't look very good for South Africa when you have this kind of move, does it?
Well, this has been their home, really. South Africa has been one of the biggest, or the foundation for some of the big mining companies. But they're talking about really that this is just technical, because most of the investors are overseas. We have here the PSC being the largest shareholder. And we had a secondary listing. They've got depository notes listed on the New York Stock Exchange. But I think, they have been moving away from SA for a while after they sold some of their gold mines, and they want to focus in Ghana, Tanzania, and other markets, and they're also moving their head office. So I think if they're moving their head office, possibly they want to be closer to the UK, where they feel that they will be safer. So really, for me, I think it's country risk, and also the energy shortages might play a part there, apart from the deep mines we have in SA.
All right, Joseph Busha, market analyst, thank you very much indeed for talking to us. All right, very quickly, let's put some numbers.